better leave it to the professionals.
Last bite on me, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been golden when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Body.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't done so, do us a favor. Drop us a GM in the chat down below, then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. It does warm up the algo and does us a real solid. You'll also find up top the link to the abstract chat. We're on Steve's abstract today. YouTube's up there. If you haven't already done so, you're going to want to make sure you sign up for our newsletter. You can do that at coffeewithcaptain.com. For our badge collectors out there, today's code is going to go via the email newsletter. So if you're not getting that email newsletter, you won't be able to complete your full set of badges. So make sure you go drop your email up there. We don't spam you. You just get one a week with the kind of a recap of the week, the links to the shows. And for at least the next few weeks, you'll get the code for Friday's badge. All these this week one anyways, all those badges are open through until Sunday at midnight. So if you missed any, let us know, and you can still get those badges. Many congrats to all of our winners thus far, and we will be giving away another 100 ape today. Although I guess we got to figure out, we're going to do that Monday. We're going to double dip Monday, Steve.
What, for the 100 ape, or?
Yes, we know our winner after they mint because they won't.
I think we could just give it to someone today for something that we want them to do, and then
we'll give it to someone, but you better mint, otherwise we.
I think it's safe to say we could probably get it to someone who we know is going to mint. We'll do that. We'll do that. But I'm with you. No, it's look, you want to subscribe to that newsletter, coffeewithcaptain.com. Right. I'm just making sure I'm not crazy. It's been a while. It's been a long morning with the kids. I was worried about them making the bus this morning, which is, I don't stress over things I can't control. I try to keep them pretty simple, but I'm like, I got to take these kids to school, it gives me less time to prep for the show. It gives me maybe I'm going to be late for the show.
Day one of school today? Day one back to school?
Do they what?
Was today day one of back to school?
Oh no, we're a full weekend. We're full weekend. So they're fully back to school. And then Monday, just for reference, I'm probably here for an hour because I gotta clock out. I will be en route in transit. So I'm gonna probably be able to stream for about an hour, but then I'm gonna get kicked out of the spot where I am. So probably just an hour on Monday, potentially maybe an hour and a half, or maybe I'll do a crazy move where I jump on well, there's a few options. It's potential I send it and get home really, really early, or maybe I'll even jump on Spaces and just do a Spaces co-host thing. We'll see. But
Monday, my first day of my homeless journey, so it'll be interesting to see how we pull this off, but we'll find a way.
We'll figure it out. We always do. We always find nature finds a way. But give us a like, or retweet, a comment on the room. Again, we got 108 to give out today, so like, retweet, comment on the space. In the abstract chat, join us over there. Of course, help us out over there. Although I don't know that it matters how many viewers we get on abstract. I think it always keeps us buried in the 10, 15 down. Swing over to YouTube, repost that stream. Give us all the love because again, we're giving 108 today. And if you haven't checked my pin post on my profile, we are giving away 10,000 ape over the next 4 weeks. We're gonna give 100 a day. So this is the end of week 1. We got 3 more weeks of the 108 giveaway, and then we are going to do draws in order to give away a grand prize of 3,008 to one full badge set collector. You're going to want to collect those on other page. We're going to give away 2,500, 1,500, and 1,000 in first, second, and third place, respectively, to 3 random people who mint at least 1 badge. So get yourself on there. Tell your friends about it because it's definitely an opportunity to make some cash and. Especially in this market, we are fully in a swinging roller coaster market, and it's my first time LPing in a swinging market, and it's not bad to go violently up and violently down as long as we stay in range. We just collect a lot of fees, so not too shabby. But Cap, I know we got Katana coming on at 9. What do you got on your tick list today?
And as always, I am Cap, joined by my co-host Steve. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky, and if he's risky, coins except for risky, go to 0 moments. Please don't money you can afford to lose. Know that Steve and I hold tokens. We'll talk about from time to time here on the show. We're not financial advisors, certainly not your financial advisors. Don't join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, and education along the way. What's on my list is all eyes on 8:30 inflation numbers. I don't even know what today is. PCE, does that sound right?
Sounds right.
Personal consumption expenditures, I think is what we're waiting for. It's comical to me that TradFi doesn't really care. S&P 500 at all-time high, and yet crypto is selling off because, again, once some other numbers that should be immaterial to us are they're going to be bad. I think we already know this. My take is that more bad inflation numbers at 8:30 today, and then you'll start seeing people, they can't cut rates again. Inflation's too bad. I mean, I don't know. I think this actually might be a positive that we continue to this little dippy dip or chop until the actual rate cuts on September 17th, and then we could just be in for a ripper. But
do you think why do you think that they don't seem to care about the S&P 500 doesn't care about it, even though the S&P 500 is materially affected by this whole thing, all the same as crypto? Why do you think the crypto market cares as the S&P 500 just rips? It's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an idea as to why.
Me either. It's actually kind of bizarre. Yeah, again, it's just I'm not quite sure I understand why the S&P 500 reacts, which is basically the same there, reacts exactly the same as the doesn't react the same as the crypto market. It just doesn't track, I guess, is what's weird.
I mean, my thought, and I have no data or anything to back this up, is that I just think that for whatever reason, the reason is just the volatility here, but more crypto participants are much on a much shorter time frame, mostly, across, per the averages or per the norm. I think people firing into their S&P, whether it's via 401ks or they're buying stocks. I don't think many of them are doing so with timelines in days or weeks or hours. Whereas it's, if you look at, you guys, you want to go to the real extreme, look at the meme coin trenches, and the average hold time's like 37 seconds for some of the top traders there. It's like more traders versus investors would be my simplistic, smooth brain take.
Do you think the risk on stocks rejoice because they're like, hey, there's a new sector that's even more risk on than we are?
Yeah.
As they get to it. Oh, but what's kind of funny, by the way, related to something you said the other day is, while this morning as we're talking, I've been trying to claim my my fees on Project X, and I realized the reason it's not working is because my MetaMask has to be put over to custom network, specifically on Hyper EVM, or else I just click OK and confirm in my wallet, but nothing happens. I can't believe it. They tease. I don't know if you saw this when some of the wallets were talking about integrating Hyperliquid into their UX. It's like MetaMask put the eye emoji. I'm like, guys, fix your wallet first. This is brutal. That I can't claim my fees unless I'm on the specific right network at the right time, clicking confirm in the right place. All these calls queued. It's just, I don't know, man. It's brutal. Anyway, so I'll digress from that. I don't know what's going on there, but it's frustrating. Or maybe it's a hyper EVM issue. Could be, they've had before. But yeah, it's weird seeing what's happening in the crypto markets, considering what the stocks are doing. And it feels like we've just introduced the new risk asset where, we would see, NASDAQ get hammered when there were these sort of numbers before, more so than other stocks. And you would fly to dividend stocks and you would fly to traditional American companies. Now it seems you just simply fly out of crypto. So seems as though we are heading that direction, Cap.
Yeah. What you heard or the delay there in other news, but we got a few minutes of quote open left. I had it connected to the wrong speaker. It connected to the TV behind me. I was trying to play some Spotify, Hang On Sloopy, to get like 7 seconds in before we get slapped on the wrists. But big day tomorrow. I'm like all knuckles bloody and little sore, like elbow sore from starting the move process yesterday. Tomorrow is going to be interesting. I don't know where I'm going to watch the game. I haven't even looked ahead. Like, I assume it's on
Fox.
Okay, it's on Fox. All right. When they are streaming.
That's what I don't know what Fox's streaming is. I just have like a YouTube TV type deal, but that's
I used to do YouTube TV. I don't have the YouTube TV anymore. Am I going to need to? I'm guessing I'm going to need some sub to watch the game. Is that?
Yeah, or go to a place that you can watch it publicly, like a bar or whatever, sports bar type deal.
Breaking the Dead.
I'm man, these transactions not going through pisses me off. I'm probably just gonna be locked in MetaMask all morning. Yeah, no, definitely what was I gonna say? Yeah, there's it's on Fox, and I am yeah, man, I'm excited, but it being on Fox because they have their big noon kickoff is why this game isn't a night game to begin with, because Fox, Penn State, Ohio State last year and a bunch of other ones, their whole big noon kickoff thing. But yeah, it's on Fox, and I'm excited, man. It's the nice part about the playoff is like I'm juiced going to this game, and I want to win it hard, and I'm excited, and it's the beginning of the football season. But the nice part about the playoff is both teams find themselves in a good position regardless of how this whole thing nets out. And so it's like, as long as one team doesn't get absolutely buried, there's a strong opportunity for them to continue to, do their thing in the future and get into the playoff anyway. But I'm excited. It's actually like as good of a storyline as you're going to get. You have Arch Manning, first major start on the road. Ohio State returning national title, but sent, I believe it was 14 pros into the draft. Payne thinks Prime might be streaming.
That'd be awesome.
So it's good. I'm not positive about that. That doesn't sound right, but he could be right.
Have you had any news yet on what ESPN is doing with Red Zone? Business as normal, or are they going to try to do something stupid there. We got to pay hundreds of dollars. Or
I think business as normal for the early on,
Sure.
and then I think they'll fuck it up eventually. Like, I think that they can't fuck it up right away. It's the same way they took inside the NBA, same sort of deal. Like, they took inside the NBA, they took, red zone, and then they're going to like be like, we're not going to mess this up, guys. Don't worry. And then eventually they will mess it up. But like right now, they don't want to mess it up right away. So
makes sense. Last bit of football talk before we get into Web3 news, and then we got a special guest we're excited about here at 9. So if you haven't already done so, give us that like, repost, and bookmark on the space, especially the audio space. It does wonders for discoverability on X. It's greatly appreciated. Drop your comments in the chat down below. Tell us who you got tomorrow, Texas or OSU. Just know that if you put Texas, you will not be receiving the 100 ape today for the badge collecting giveaway. But for all the best ball drafters out there, or actually, if you're in a season-long redraft league and you've not done that yet, reminds me, I'm going to take a note here. Bad timing for me. I'm not making excuses. I do have a few things going on in my life that I need to prioritize at the moment. But we will do the reminds me I need to get the DGen draft scheduled for those that want to draft there. But if you're doing any sort of best ball or in particular redraft, the value right now, best value at quarterback is Dak Prescott. The Cowboys they traded away Micah Parsons yesterday. Their defense was already bad. It's going from bad to potentially worse in the league. Dallas, I might be the most qualified running back in their backfield right now. They don't, I mean, Jaden Blue is fast, but he's just a pass catching back. And they got that and a bunch of old men who are in worse shape than I, because they've been getting beaten up playing running back for the last several years. So they don't like, he may break the record for pass attempts this year. Lamb is, I'm number 2 on Lamb right now behind Chase. So if I pull I have the 1.05 in my high stakes redraft with the college buddies, and I'm really hoping Lamb falls to 5, because I would sprint to the podium. I think Pickens is undervalued still where he's going, and above all is Dak is he's got as much upside as with any of the quarterbacks outside of the 4 elite ones, outside of Allen, Lamar, Jaden, and Hurts. I think Dak is right there with them in terms of ceiling. I think he's got as much or more of a ceiling than Burrow. Not knocking Burrow, he's also in a great spot. Dak doesn't have Chase Brown, and Chase Brown's going to get his this year. We were talking in a while back in the war room, like the oldest player to lead their team in rushing yards was Ryan Fitzpatrick when he was 38, because the Dolphins had no running game that year. It's basically the spot the Cowboys are in, and Dak can sling it. I mean, he was, an MVP candidate a couple years ago. Like, he put up massive numbers 2 seasons ago before he got dinged up last year. And yeah, I just very, very, very bullish on, and they're so narrow, right? There are some other secondary weapons, but it's going to be Lamb and Pickens, and Dak is just going to feed them, I feel. So get all the Dak you can.
Yes. I don't draft players. I draft faceless positions. That's what I do now. I'm 11 drafts deep on Spoiled Banana Society, and probably going to fire off some more. Sounds like I won an entry into their jackpot league, so I'm going to get into one of those because I won the spin. I got the 9th spot in the draft and got the spin. I'm telling you, and again, this kind of brings it back to crypto in some ways. If you are drafting, I love that format. Go ahead, Cap.
Oh, it's a Fox One subscription on Prime Video. So I guess that's probably the move, is just bite the bullet and subscribe to Fox One.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, if you are a fantasy football enjoyer, again, it's a really different type of format, but it's fun. I was nervous. I wanted to do my research. I want to get it done. And then eventually I just dove in and did it. And I've been enjoying the drafts. You got another week left to draft before the season starts. I think you have till Thursday, I believe, right? Is that when football kicks off? So I just, or NFL kicks off. So I'm probably going to get in at least one more, maybe a few more. Maybe
Jesus, it is the 4th. Holy cow. That sneaks up on me. So I'm kind of bummed. Really bad timing. Otherwise, if I wasn't moving this weekend, I've hit a few more, but I'd go from 610 best ball drafts to maybe 1,000. I just simply don't have enough hours in the day right now. But yeah, next Thursday, we are kicking off NFL season. That snuck up on me. I thought I had another week.
Yeah. So if you have
Dak, he opens in Philadelphia on Thursday night. Now, most best ball, their contests lock before that game. There are some that they continue the drafts into Sunday, not disregarding, but effectively disregarding the Thursday night game. Even there's some like NFPC, I think, some of the big traditional high stakes redraft leagues that are north of $1,000. They actually allow you to. You can still draft players after that first game. You can change your line. So like basically, if you have, let's say, Barkley and he doesn't score and he has gets shut down, you can actually start another running back over him. Or if you have, I don't know, Ferguson as your backup tight end and he goes off for 3 touchdowns on Thursday night, you could still draft him and put him in your lineup. Now, most are not like that, but there's a few. I don't know. I assume SBS locks prior to their last drafts prior to Thursday night, but I'm not certain on that.
Yeah, I believe they do. And so
Oop, we lost you. Steve may not be able to watch the Buckeye game if he doesn't get his internet fixed. He may be out on the Fox One and Prime Video. YouTube TV not good with no internet. I think you're back though. Nope. You came back for a second and then you're gone again. We do have so SBF drafts in an hour before the Dallas Philadelphia game, and there's a Malls SBS draft today starting at 11:30. I would love to do that, but I'm just moving day. Steve will be back here in a second. You know what we may do while we're waiting on Steve to get back? I'm just going to go ahead and fire up a daily market update brought to you by ApeChain. ApeChain on top, the home of NFTs, the home of Otherside, the home of the badge collecting challenge powered by OtherPage. It's a we're big fans of the platform. We had the team on Monday. If you missed that show, keep it in the newsletter here later today. There'll be a link to that, or head back, just scroll the feed and you will find it. We also have our podcast. That's another thing too. If you've not yet liked and subscribed to the podcast, we'd greatly appreciate that. Give us a 5-star rating and review while you're over there. It does, just like all the retweets, the reposts, those free little assistance. It goes a long way. But yeah, let's roll in a quick daily market update, and hopefully Steve can find his way back to the show between now and the next minute or two.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeCoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on ApeChain, we bring in the heat. NFTs, fence alpha, never miss a beat. ApeChain on top, now we bring in the flex. The home of NFTs, figures now what's next. Come on, my head top, but you want the silent chop, talk for one time.
It's time for the daily market update brought to you by ApeChain. This is I hadn't peeked ahead. This is going to be comical. We're going to go NFTs last because there's a few certainly worth discussing. But let's do this here. I will. We're going to go back, rate and review the podcast while we wait. I'm going to share we're going to start with majors. Not a great scene, and you're going to keep an eye on these reports that come out in 7 minutes, give or take, to see which way the market's head. Bitcoin down 3% of the day to 110.94. ETH down 5%, still $4,354. Wasn't that long ago, it was $1,500. So just zoom out a little bit and maybe touch some grass if you need to. XRP down 4% to 288. Solana down 2% to 208. Doge down 3% to 21 cents, and Cardano down 5 cents. It finally lost its 85 cent peg there, down to 82 cents on today. Liquidity up 1%. All the other runes continue to bleed out. If we look at the leading memes, Sheeb down 3%, Pepe down 3%, Pingu down 4%, Trump down 2%, and Bonk down 4%. Heading up to top performers. I have no idea what U-Chain is. Interesting unit price there. Must only be a few tokens out there because markup's 112. Price of the tokens 1,111. Not the Pepe coin you think, but another Pepe coin up 25% of the day to 47. Mitosis. It's just so random how they Pyth Network pumped 91%. Mitosis pumped 114%. These aren't nothing. I mean, Pyth is a $1.3 billion protocol. Why it's up 91% of the day, I have no idea. If anyone's familiar with Pyth or Mitosis, let us know. What I can tell you about is a little bit of these NFTs. Mility's down 2% to 1.96, lost that 2 ETH price point. Little Pudgy's down 2% to 1.21. Whereas Big Pudgy's not on the most. Oh, there they are, down 1% as well to 2.09. I did get a chance to play Pudgy Party. We'll come back to that after the daily market update. Did a run or two this morning and was pretty impressed. Pretty fun, addictive game. I'm rooting for them. If you're in crypto, if you're in NFTs, you should be rooting anytime any of these brands makes an entry into mainstream. In this case, by way of the App Store and Mythos and Polkadot there, Pudgy building out with those partners built out what seems to be a pretty fun game. I also won my first race, so I'm certainly biased. Might be the best Pudgy Party player in the history of the world. Back to the daily market update though. Mythic's down 1% to 0.4. They are programmed to hit 1 ETH as soon as the market stops being schizophrenic here and just stops worrying about inflation. Apes down 2% of the day. Mutants up 3%, celebrating the mutant anniversary. Steve, we missed talking about that yesterday. I had Saturday in my mind. I have a good thread that did some numbies a couple years ago. I will quote tweet that tomorrow for anyone that wants the kind of the history or the look down memory lane. I'll go find it here during the show and put it up top especially if I need stuff to do while Steve is back. Never mind. I will still go find that though. Here's the one that I'm curious on. Sappy Seals up 27%.
I got you on that. So I'm
the rest of them. Also, we have to talk about Madcap Militia, although that does appear to be some wash trading. Moonbird 7%. Apes, Mutants, as I mentioned, up Base Paint. That's just an OpenSea farm. So the big news here is why in the world are Sappy Seals up 27% of the day, Steve? Did we lose Steve again? Steve, check 1, check 2. We got a frozen Steven once again. This is actually climatic TV here. TV/radio is we're not going to commercial, but we are taking a we're gonna leave you with that cliffhanger on why in the world Sappy Seals ran up overnight. The cliffhanger until Steve returns, because I have no idea, but they are up 27% of the day. In addition to the Mutant Anniversary, Mutants also went live in the other side. I've not got mine in there yet. I've just got such a sexy ape. It's hard to even go to my Fire Coda because the ape is such a banger. But I will take the Mutant for a spin here soon. But I love seeing everyone having fun in the other side. And speaking of that, I saw, I don't know who it was. Maybe J Bond. Maybe J Bond, maybe Zier. Someone was talking about how, we got double Steve. Look at this treat. Someone was talking about how other side is going to drop a token. And it was Rita. Rita sent it. Now I remember. Basically saying the other side is going to drop a token. And when they do, it's going to be allocation will be based off of your XP in other side. And I don't know if this to be the case. I actually don't think it's going to be an other side token. I think it'll be a token for something else. But that said, I think his take can still hold, even if it's not directly tied to other side. I do think whenever they drop whatever token has been alluded to, I do think it's a possibility, maybe a probability, that XP inside of other side is rewarded. I know I saw this post. Maybe it was from days ago. I was near certain it was Rita. Anyways, it's not that relevant. You don't need to necessarily say it. Just trust me, bro. He did say, I'm pretty near certain it was Rita that said that had this take about other side XP being tied to the next token. I've just scrolled his entire feed and can't find it. So maybe he said that and was right, and someone from Yuga reached out and said, dude, delete that tweet. You're way too hot. We can't be letting this out yet. I can't find it anywhere, but I know I saw it. I'm near certain it was Rita or Rita, whichever you prefer. That said, I do think there could be some rewards for those that are hanging out on the other side and participating over there. ApeCo also officially set up as a actual entity. Yuga's making some moves quietly. I feel like they are kind of being slept on by the larger space. Those in the ecosystem are very, passionate, love playing other side. They're in there a lot. There's a lot of that organic activity. And you see them talking about it on the timeline. You see them spaces. But I think, it was Rax who said it. Okay. looks like Rita. Maybe that's the issue. Yep, you're right. Similar. Appreciate you, RDL. This is exactly what I was looking at. Man, how awesome is our community, Steve? Like I'm having a, I was near certain. The reason I was near certain is it kind of looks like Rita's PFP. It doesn't, but I just in my brain I said, oh, that's Rita. His name starts with an R. Other side will drop a coin with allocation being based on XP. You're not spending enough time in other side. Again, I do not think it's going to be an other side coin. I think ApeCoin powers other side. I do think that they're going to drop some sort of token, whatever secret project they've been working on, whatever they got brewing. I think it gets announced at ApeFest. I'm not saying it's going to be check your wallets type situation, but I do think that there's just too much smoke. There's going to be some fire with some sort of token in that ecosystem. And Garga did say you can earn XP right now by participating in the other games. So if you're not yet, check that out. The Ape Games account actually hangs out in the space from time to time. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and if you need some connections to what to do over there, feel free to ask. We're happy to connect you with Machiavelli or any of the others who are hanging out in other side, 20, 22 hours a day. But Steve, welcome back. Welcome to Coffee with Captain.
Yeah, I don't need connections to other side. I don't need connections to ApeCo. I need connections to the fucking internet. It's funny. I was actually talking to I was actually looking at my the chat. The chat's good over here. So the chat says it's Dwayne, I believe Texas fan. So but man, trying to win that 100 ape today. Said, did Steve switch his internet to MetaMask? Thomas said, I am streaming live from my local Cracker Barrel. So a lot of fun comments in the chat. I actually was so mad about it right now. I am a pretty good stoic. I mean, Cap can attest, friends and family can attest. I don't really pop off very often. I take things in stride. I've been praised for my patience when people have been assholes on spaces. I was getting a little blood boiling by the second drop off. And I laughed at the jokes, came back, second drop off. I start searching to get AT&T to see the internet in my area. We have AT&T for cell phones. It's like trying to make me log in and do all these steps to get prices for the internet. I'm like, I am asking you what is available in my area right now because I am mad and want to see it. And it's making me jump through hoops, and I don't know what my password is, and I don't know if my wife manages it. So I texted my wife. So do you want to hear a life hack for me? Dawn is very good at not being stupid about spending money. I am very good about being stupid about spending money. It's why I had $1,000 monkey JPEG. Whenever I want her to do something or I want to do something, I will tell her we need to do this. She's like, yeah, we'll do it. And then I'm like, otherwise, I'm going to look for the most expensive one I can buy because that means it's better. And she knows that I will pull the trigger on something stupid. And I basically texted her, I'm like, if we don't look at this tonight, and it's my fault equally, I have not looked at it, by the way, because we've been busy at night. But I'm like, if we don't look at this tonight, I'm going to get the most expensive internet to our house that I can find. She's like, we'll look at it tonight. So that is my threat to hold her hostage, is being irresponsible with money and just looking for something that I don't need. That's like basically designed for like, a 40,000 person business and just signing us up for that internet so it never goes wrong. So in any case, watch what happens is like we switch the internet. And turns out it's just my Arrow router in the back of me. And that's like what's, just dying or going bad. I don't know. We'll see. But Cap, I got you on Sappy Seals. So Sappy Seals, I think, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
And also mitosis. Shout out to Wealth Trader in the abstract chat. Mitosis apparently was TGE. That's why that's popping. But go ahead. Sorry.
So mitosis TGE, Sappy Seals, I believe, are going to Monad. And they're heating up because they're bridging to Monad, the DGOD strategy. Yeah. What are they doing it nowadays? I mean, I expect that they're still here and they're making moves, so I'm not trying to like fud.
Sappy Seals or Monad?
Sappy Seals.
No idea. I believe they have a game, but I don't know. I'm not being mean. They used to see them a lot on the timeline. They used to be some pretty funny shit posters. I don't know if I can tell you one person who's rocking a Sappy Seal PFP other than probably Wob.
Yeah, Wob. But I believe it's funny because I remember when Camel was on the team and they would have like hilarious videos of like Sappy Seals versus everyone. They'd be like, the Seals would be coming up in tanks and shooting all the different PFPs and stuff. It was so funny.
I had forgotten until you just said that. Just another proof point how important mindshare leads are. Camel wasn't his title, wasn't his official role. He absolutely was a mindshare lead when he was at Sappy Seals. They lost that. They lost that motion, man. and I'm not taking shots on the team, but one person can make the world of difference for your brand's visibility on, at least on crypto Twitter. I fully agree with you that marketing beyond crypto Twitter is also important and having a strategy. And, you got to do more than just that. Man, in this world, that like having this individual on your team, that's what they do. They wake up, they eat, breathe, and sleep. How can I, just having fun with it, not feeling forced, but it is a unique skill. Like if you think these shit posters are just like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, go try to do that. It's not as easy as you'd think. Like to be consistently entertaining and occasionally funny. I didn't even think about that till just now, and checks out that they fell off of my timeline almost entire. It didn't happen immediately, but I used to see him a lot, and it was driven by Camel, and then others would follow suit. And since he's moved on to Sugartown, they've like completely left my my brain space.
Yeah, it's funny. It's actually funny like that. It's like this. Well, and also like I think there's this weird thing where it's like, because of the nature of crypto Twitter, it's always the shit poster. I do wonder if there.
Also, breaking news.
I got scared when you me. I was like, I just got fucking my internet's going again. All right, go ahead.
No. I will. I'll let you get right back to it. Shout out to Husker for keeping us updated there. The PCE came in line with expectations, and we got a nice little. We got some God candles this morning, Steve. So markets liked in line with expectations. Very good feeling. When I did not think that this was going to be the case. I thought we were going to go the other way today, and I was going to do my best to not be a little baby back bitch again. But yeah, it's seems to be well received on the PCE coming in with expectations.
Yeah, I couldn't land the joke on the bull market being dead and Bevo being a bull and Texas and Ohio State losing, but there was something there that I was trying to figure out for the worm this morning, and I just gave up because I had to prep for the show. And like I said, kids going crazy and all that good stuff. But man, there was something that was there about like the bull market being dead and Bevo being a bull and yeah, Texas. But good for markets. Glad markets are moving too, because like I said, like I know like people may be tired of hearing DeFi Steve, who's been in, I'm that guy who like discovered something and watched 65 podcasts on it in a row and pretends he's an expert now, which by the way, I don't pretend I'm an expert. I always tell people I don't know what I'm doing. I'm figuring it out. But I have wide positions in these things. And so they don't go out of range very often. But the chop has been incredible the past few days. And now it's like I just been collecting so many fees while staying in range and going back and forth. And so the fact that it went this deep and now we got some positive news, I may be able to just leave these things open all weekend and just hold, because my solo USDC position is almost back to even, and I had a couple on the hyperliquid directions that went really hard against stable. So because hyperliquid's been super volatile, so things are good.
How about Husker ETH? I just now realizing that he's actually a Husker fan. So. Yeah, Nebraska looked good last night. Won in Arrowhead in front of Pat Mahomes.
Dude, but some weirdness there. Dylan.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
It's kind of creepy. I don't like, whatever. I mean, it's working for him. He's probably going to get some, some of that NFL money. But yeah, it's.
I mean, Dylan Rainville is good.
Yeah, Nebraska's quarterback is essentially attempting to become like he looks like Patrick Mahomes on Halloween, basically. I don't know any other way to put it.
Yeah,
again, congratulations on your win, Husker. GG's, and you talk about hated the TV coverage. I missed it. I saw this morning that the game took place. Oh, too much coverage of Mahomes and Taylor Swift. So actually, this is so funny. I saw them talking about, like, before I saw any clips of the game, not even exaggerating, I saw memes about people talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce at a college football game, talking about college football, and then later I realized that it was Nebraska playing in at Arrowhead
against Cincinnati. It's just such a weird thing to see Patrick Mahomes in the stand. So if people don't know, Dylan Raiola is like, he dresses like Temu Patrick Mahomes. But like, here you go. Like, you can see it here. Here's an example.
I'll shoot another invite if you want to come back up on stage on the Spaces. You got booted.
Oh yeah, I will. I'll jump up in a second here. Actually, it's not even showing, so I'll jump back up in a second after I show one more. This is my craziest one to me, though. When I saw him walking in one day, that's not Patrick Mahomes. It's just Dylan Raiola looking like Patrick Mahomes. But look, he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He is. Ohio State recruited him. A bunch of people recruited him. He is solid. Like, shout out Matt Rule over there. And I was happy for Nebraska yesterday. Good win for the Big Ten to win. But yeah, it's definitely a I don't know. It's most definitely a little weird, but also like whatever. Kid grew up, excited about him in some formative years. I don't blame him, but yeah, the Patrick Mahomes thing, winning in front of Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead is kind of hilarious. But yeah, shout out Husker. Congrats on that. Also, glad to hear you're feeling about. Is there a better addition though? We love all of our community. Husker joining not just like Coffee with Captain community, which he's been here for a while, giving the Pudgy Penguin updates. We have him on stage sometimes. Joining the DGen community, it's like Husker's just a great addition.
I agree wholeheartedly. And you know what else? And maybe this is silly. It makes me bullish on Pudgies. It makes me actually look. I've said many times I don't need another community. I'm too spread thin as is. If I were to like actually get active in another or ecosystem comparable to like how we are in the ape ecosystem, it would be Pudgy. And it has nothing to do with floor price. It's all to do with people like Husker in that community that have supported us and are knowledgeable and just good people. And he's one of many. And yeah, double tap on that. I agree with everything you said there. And yeah, great to have him around. It's been a great addition to the show. It's been a great addition to the War Room. And yeah, big fan. We also we've got a few other updates here. Opportunist says there was a Sappy Seal whale who gave up and left, and that might have helped getting, it might have been a dump that they're recovering from. And then we also had, we've got Machiavelli jumped up on stage, says he knows what happened to Sappy Seals. We lost him, but we'll get him right back up here and then ask if there
did I finish? They're going to Monad. Did I finish that? Like, I think that's
yeah. You said they're going to Monad, but I didn't know if there was anything beyond the Monad migration.
Got it. Yeah, we can if Machiavelli's up, we can let him get that in.
Yeah, the Sappies are building the Omnia game. That's where Wobb's focus and the team's focus has been, and that's going to be introduced on Monad. Everybody's waiting kind of for Monad TGE. I'm still a holder. And then the reason what you just said right there is a whale dumped all those Sappies, which is crazy. They also just had a big release on Robux, and they had, they got a couple million users in a month in their Seal Racer game. And then if you were a holder, you could also go over there and claim an exclusive seal and avatar and stuff like that as well. So they're active. They're just kind of like in the shadows waiting on Monad and TGE, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. So there you go. It's Monad TGE onboarding people through games. Maybe the seals are the things that will be surprisingly like wake up and be like, hey, seals are back. So who knows? But I used to want one when Camo was back there and never didn't get as nearly as excited afterwards. But like after Camo had left. But yeah, cool to see the seals cooking. Look, I like when people just continue moving. Like I like when people just continue building. Like you can't beat that. So glad to hear about that. Cap, I mean, another piece of news, if I can find my my tabs after I've been absolutely just flabbergasted, flustered by all the disconnects over here.
Steve is stoic until he has some tech issue or he tries to do anything on Hyperliquid, and then he has a then he crashes out.
Then I have a meltdown. It was I haven't had like the thing about the word meltdowns, which might be lost in context, is they're like probably 60% joking, 40% meltdown. Like it gives me an excuse to make some ridiculous like curses that don't actually track. Like some I don't know. It's hard to explain. Just say ridiculous things and crash out while throwing a shenanigan fit that's over the top. So they're only like 40% real. But a couple things else on my list here, Cap. I looked at the sports tab on Myriad and my Switch flipped. I think I'm going to get some money over there today. So I think I'm in. I just look at some of the sports stuff and I feel like there's a little bit of an edge. And
did they load it up? Because yesterday they had basically the only sports were
they got some OSU Texas in there. They got some.
Okay, so it is new. Yeah, like I looked yesterday. I was ready to do some stuff and it was all just nothing I was really interested in.
You know what? Know where I'm going to look for some edge. Again, this is a homer play.
I'm getting Saiyan right now. Saiyan's at 41%. They got They got Arch projected for, and this is probably the correct line, but yeah, I'm a homer, so I'll put some money on Saiyan. Saiyan, is it Julian Saiyan? Am I pronouncing his name correctly? I haven't heard it pronounced on TV.
Saiyan, yeah.
More who wins more before week 6? That's interesting. You gotta love Ohio State, Michigan getting some action before even the season kicks off. This is a nice little.
Also, show some respect to Julian Sane, who won 2 Heismans in my dynasty on NCAA football. But real quick on that, just to like, I know
football, has it dropped yet or no?
Oh, it dropped like a month ago. My brother and I had a classic last night. You can still play last year's version, but me and my brother dropped.
You get the new one, or are you playing last year's?
Oh, I got the new one. My brother and I played last night in a classic. He was Ohio State, I was Tennessee. You ever do this move?
Other than like the new rosters, is there any big upgrades, big changes in the game?
It's a little different. It's a little harder to play defense in certain. There's some changes, like some changes to running. It's a little more realistic. Although yesterday my brother and I played, we do the thing where you do 3 random teams, and then if you don't like those 3 random teams, you can go random one more, but you must be that team. It's the wild card, and so you can choose from your first 3. My brother goes random. The first one he gets is Ohio State. I'm like, oh crap. I go random 3. I get 3 teams that are 72 overall, like Division 2 type teams, and then I random it, and I get Tennessee. I'm like, all right, cool. Tennessee on my wild card. We were playing till the end. He popped a. It was a close game, 17-14. He pops a touchdown with 6 seconds left to Jeremiah Smith. I then return the kick for a touchdown because he kicks it deep. So, but no, I was gonna say,
I gotta take a trip if I'm gonna bet USDC on Marion.
Yeah,
right?
So you can't do it right now because you'll lose connection here. But we got all time. We got plenty of time. Quintravion Wisner is a good running back for Texas. I expect him to see some carries. And so Ohio State, Peoples in that backfield, Donaldson on the transfer. I expect Julian Sane to be slinging it. We have 3 wide receivers who could be a wide receiver 1 on another team. So anyway, that's my bet. I'm going to get on markets today, and I'm going to make some bets, including that one. Nick Saban loves Julian Sane. He was his heir apparent quarterback before he retired. So then he transferred to Ohio State along with Caleb Downs. So exciting stuff there. U.S. Department of Commerce is going to publish GDP data on Bitcoin, ETH, Soltron, Stellar, Avalanche, Arbiter, Polygon, Optimism, and Pith, all using Chainlink. I don't know that this is a necessary use case because the data is all published and out there, but I'm not mad about it. Like, it is what it is. Maybe it just makes it more accessible if you want to query it. But it's inventing a use case, but it's a use case.
I mean, I don't know, man. I appreciate the effort, maybe the intent. I'm not a dev. I'm not a technical expert, but they're getting dunked on pretty hard.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about the crypto community.
Because of how they're doing it. Like, it's really poorly done.
Right. But like, I think even with the crypto community, it's like, it's a bad use case. And they're like, oh, it's dumb. And I'm like, look, it's not a great use case. It's kind of dumb. I get it. People are using crypto, man. They're using crypto. Let's just like have nice things for once and just say they're doing something. Like, let's just let it be.
Who's advising this shit? Because like, I don't know if you saw Pop Punk's post. Shout out to the U.S. Department of Commerce that will be deploying a brand new smart contract to ETH mainnet every time they want to store 3 values. Like, again, I'm not a dev, but I
what did Coffee say in the replies? Out of curiosity, did Coffee agree or no?
Yeah, didn't even enable the optimizer to optimize.
Okay. Because Pop Punk is a shit poster and Coffee's like a dev, and not Pop Punk knows his shit too, but like he's
Pop
also
Punk, Pop Punk's also a dev, and yeah, like I saw like Vitalik would like that. Like I just like what are you guys doing? Like, you don't need a smart contract every time you want to deploy something on the blockchain. Like,
so this is the US's version of just hiring a shit poster to do their comms and marketing. They're just hiring the first like this is like when that, like back in the day when you would do social media at companies and they'd be like, hey, who in here is on Facebook? You're our new social media director. It's basically what they did, but with their dev work, it looks like. So they're look, I am not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. As it is, it feels like we can't have nice things around here anymore because like Hyperliquid ETH cooks, dumps, Bitcoin cooks, dump, Hyperliquid cooks, dumps. I'm just I'm just gonna have nice things, but and I'm gonna be fine with that. But Cap, I'm going to do more because I have a more on governments and crypto. So we'll hit
Cool.
on that.
And I
know
got one other topic I definitely want to hit on before 9, but go ahead.
Okay.
The more you know, brought to you by ENS.
It's time for the more brought to you by ENS. We are talking governments and blockchain, and governments are turning to blockchain in increasingly tangible ways. In July 2024, California DMV placed 42 million car titles on the AVAX blockchain. Avalanche just hired Vo, shout out Vo, via partnerships with OX Head Alpha to fight fraud and simplify transfers via mobile app. That's a good blockchain usage, by the way. On the federal level, in June 2025, the House Department passed a Deploying American Blockchains Act, directing the Department of Commerce, something we're seeing now, to develop a blockchain strategy. And of course, just a few days ago, Commerce began publishing GDP and other macroeconomic data on the blockchain via 9 public blockchains, including, as we mentioned, Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, Avalanche, Polygon, and others using Chainlink. Internationally, we've seen it all over the place. China rolled out its real name decentralized identifier system, Real DID, on December 12th, 2023, offering blockchain-based identity verification for all citizens. And so to sum it up, blockchain is not just buzz, it's live now. From July 2024 in California to a federal GDP data on-chain now in August 2025 to national digital IDs in China since 2024. Pakistan even has a mining-powered Bitcoin reserve as of 2025. It's showing that governments are increasingly adopting blockchain and bringing it forward for identity, transparency, economic data, and infrastructure. And that was the More You Know, brought to you by our friends over at ENS. ENS does more than not just anchoring your name across a Web3, but anchoring it across the internet. It's your identity, simple, memorable, and unmistakably yours. Go to ens.domains to learn more and secure your ENS domain today. Still love ENS, man. Got to follow up with them about some stuff, but big fan of ENS and everything they're building. But Cap, again, busy day as far as the market goes. We are seeing the bounce on the economic data coming in line. It just shows how sensitive we are. We're basically have the sensitivity of a middle school teenager where, we thought data was going to be bad. Markets dump. Data comes in line. Markets jump. What was your other topic you want to hit on before we get to Katana at 9, which I'm excited about?
Yeah, just a quick one. I'm sure we will talk more on it at some point in the future, but Zeet launched yesterday. Still in learning phase, early goings, but I'm a fan of the UX, the interface. I've got some, this is one I infamously dunked on when they first launched because of not the platform, but how some people were approaching the signal over noise campaign and just shilling relentlessly. I've not been zeeting or necessarily talking about it. Just some new looks here. Some, this is my personal profile. So it's got creative versus copy pasta, curator versus shit poster, hardcore versus casual, degen over angel, amplifier versus lurker, substance over hype, community builder over solo. Pretty accurate in terms of my, although anonymous over transparent would be off, educator over entertainer, that's probably correct. Long-term over short-term, Web3 over Web2, pretty accurate on the content scale. Again, it's still in their early learning phase, gathering all this. The best compliment I got, I'm getting similar vibes to Kobe, to D's, to Keyboard Monkey. So I'll take the compliments there. And the leaderboard wise is, again, some of the usual suspects. Are some smaller accounts popping, but obviously you got Whale at 8, Kook at 9, AXBT at 7. Just excited to see what comes of this. I also, as I mentioned earlier on the show, I did unstake my Kaido earlier this week, and we'll be rotating that probably to hype. I'm going to see how this after 7 days what things look like, but I think I don't like what I think you were the first to say it. Kaido is feeling like it's becoming pay to play. And I feel as if I was forced to make a decision. Do I want to double down and stake more Kaido and buy an NFT, or is my time in capital best use elsewhere? And it's not that I'm not going to stop paying attention to those Kaido leaderboards, but I think not only is it for not only pay to play, but what that does, it just like it impacts the integrity of those leaderboards, right? Like someone's going to be ranking higher now because they bought a copy bar or two. And I understand them wanting to provide utility to their holders. I just don't think this is it. I don't like the approach.
Yeah, it seems relatively obvious to me that the best utility is just going and doing airdrops for your partners based on things held. I held some stake Kaido for a while. I think I got about a Chipotle burrito worth of airdrops for having thousands of dollars staked. Pulled that off. Did not keep that on there. And I just, at the end of the day, like, it's just not my jam. It's not my spot. And I look, I'll talk about things that are on leaderboards when I talk about them authentically. The best part about talking about things authentically is that you end up, meeting people and talking about them, things you really care about. And, in a couple minutes here, we're going to bring on Crypto Texan. We're going to talk about Katana.
Man, if I knew the username, Steve, I might have vetoed this interview today.
I know, especially, yeah, I know. Go Buckeyes. But it's that's yeah, I didn't even think about that one. Horns all the way down, but coming. Actually, this is perfect because just like Texas is coming to Ohio Stadium, Crypto Texan is coming into two Columbus boys who root for Ohio State through and through for an interview. So it's kind of like he's playing an away game too today. So it's good. But
so I got like, and all jokes aside, I have a serious. So today, our collector badge, the claim code will be in your email. I think we choose the winner. Oh, I said we're already going to choose a winner. I say we choose Monday's winner. Whoever guesses the closest to the correct outcome. So in the chat today, as we bring on a Texan here in a few minutes, again, I said if you choose Texas, you're eliminated, or you're not going to be considered for the claim. If you guess the correct score, you will win. So Ohio State versus Texas. What's the final score? Who do you got winning? Yeah, drop your score predictions in the chat, and whoever guesses closest to the correct score with the winner will win Monday's 108 for the badge collection challenge.
Yeah, I like that. The worst part about it is too, I fucking love Austin, man. I love Austin, Texas. It's like I saw the face of God when I had barbecue down there. We went to a show at Joe Rogan's crazy comedy mothership thing.
Can we rant for a few seconds on that when you get done?
What a time. It was awesome. And Austin is very much like Columbus, Ohio, just in a warmer location, a little bit more weird, better food. I love Columbus food. They got some good, nice food, but like, it's a little bit copy pasta food there. What do you want to hit the rant real quick, and then we'll bring Crypto Texan on here in a sec?
Yeah, pretty disappointed. Rare that I'll ever speak negatively about anyone building on-chain, building crypto native. But I will.
Are you about to Matt Rife it right now?
Yeah, I absolutely would support anyone attempting to push the space forward. Unfortunately, I feel this is one of the things that actually takes us a step or two backwards, where you have, I believe, the most in-demand comedian on the planet right now. I know he may not be the top comedian by most metrics or leaderboards if you ask someone, but I'm telling you, go try to buy a ticket to a Matt Rife show and your jaw will drop. The guy is absolutely crushing it. The examples I used yesterday in the War Room is Shane Gillis is playing in Orlando in 2 weeks. You can still buy tickets on Shane's site. Like, it's not sold out. You can get in the arena for $60, and the most expensive ticket is maybe $150. Matt Rife playing in the same arena, not until December, is already sold out. The cheapest ticket is over $100. And if you want to get up close, you're going to drop 4 figures. Like, the guy is.
Because if you're up close, you're paying to get roasted. Because he does the best crowd work in. He does
the best crowd work. I do believe I think he's the most in-demand comedian as far as live shows right now. And if you doubt this, just go try to buy a ticket to one of his shows. His tour is on fire. He just sold out Madison Square Garden 2 nights in a row. He was, had another Netflix special. He was actually co-host on Kill Tony did a Madison Square Garden Netflix special. He was co-host there. Like, he is on the biggest come up from a comedian that I can remember in a very long time. His crowd work is incredible. My disappointment is he got scammed into the whole Dodginal crew, and it's disgusting, man.
I mean, I said it in the War Room. I'll just say it. I wasn't going to say it. I was like, can I say something? If there's Matt Rife, if you just met Matt Rife and he wasn't a comedian, you're like, what PFP do you think he rocks? You'd say a Dogano. You'd say a Dogano.
Say that.
Yeah, he looks like a Dogano, but and he's got the vibe. But I don't know.
I would Happy Seal before Dogano, man. Like, it's just
Another Columbus, Ohio boy, by the way, Matt Rife.
And that's I didn't know that either till you said that. But yeah, just I don't know. Like, hopefully I'm wrong, and maybe they've changed their ways, but their track record says probably unfortunate, and probably someone that he'll be burnt and probably drop a meme coin that'll go to zero, and then it'll be out of crypto and never come back, or not come back for a decade. Sorry.
Well, that said, I know we hit 9 o'clock. Let's bring on Crypto Texan into the belly of the beast. 2 Columbus boys and a Texan. Crypto Texan, we need to ask right off the rip, are you a Longhorns guy?
Yeah, so I heard y'all talking beforehand. Also, can y'all hear me okay?
You're good. You sound clear.
Nice. Yeah, so I went to Texas Tech University, so I'm actually not a fan of UT, and I hope that Ohio State beats them. Early tomorrow, I think, is when the game is. So, yeah, go Buckeyes.
Yeah, because Texas was freaking, they chickened out. They would not play a night game. They could have had the opportunity to play a Sunday night primetime game in Columbus. It would have been electric. I couldn't think of a better way to kick off college football season. And they wussed out like, no, we need the 12 o'clock noon kickoff because we are scared to play under the lights in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, UT was obviously in the Big 12 for a long time, and so I'm pretty used to UT getting their way in terms of scheduling like that. So, but we don't really have to deal with that much anymore on my side, which is kind of nice.
And you know what? Like, I love you saying from Texas Tech, because I'm sure you could imagine what danced through my head the second you said Texas Tech versus Texas, and that's Michael Crabtree just running to the end zone down the sideline with no as time expires. I watched that game on the treadmill the other day, full game. And I'm still surprised every time. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen, and it happens every time, even though I know the results. So good stuff.
Yeah, I was at that game. And yeah, it's definitely something that's burned into the back of every Texas Tech Red Raiders mind. It's just a beautiful moment. So
Wonderful. Well, look, I'm glad we're on the same page, college football. I actually have always had a soft spot for, I could go Texas Tech all day because I actually have a soft spot for Texas Tech, the air raid, everything they did down there. But I also, we got important DeFi protocols to talk about for sure. Yeah. So I don't want to go too deep on it, but I am a fan. So love to hear that. And it's funny hearing you laugh about it. But before we get deep into the what Katana is and everything behind it, give everybody your background to familiarize our audience with yourself.
Yeah, well, you already know that I went to Texas Tech. So, grew up in West Texas, went to Texas Tech, but from a professional career standpoint, I was in traditional banking for about 13 years. Everything from like a bank teller to a credit analyst to a financial analyst to eventually a loan officer in that traditional finance world. And, during that time, I got into crypto around 2017. That's when I bought my first little bit of Bitcoin back in the day, and did my first on-chain transaction in 2017 as well. So that's what I really kind of nailed down as my starting point in the crypto space. And then, once DeFi came around in the early 2021, that's when I was, I was working at the bank, and I was like, wow, this is like automated finance with smart contracts. And I got really into it to the point where I was working full-time at the bank, and I was working part-time anonymously for a DeFi DAO on Ethereum called the Index Coop. And I started doing the Index Coop's podcast, and I was doing business development work for them. And it just got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to start doing this full-time. Reached out to some of my contacts at Polygon, and then joined the Polygon DeFi team. And I was at Polygon for a little over 3 years. And then this idea of Katana in a DeFi-first, DeFi-focused blockchain kind of came into the fold. And now I'm full-time Katana. So that's the journey from bank teller to Katana.
Explain Katana to people now, because you mentioned to Katana, and because I'll get into the platform itself. I love the platform because I got into DeFi. I was way late. Just to give a background, I was, didn't understand DeFi. I've been in crypto since 2016. I did the whole crypto thing, then I did the NFT thing, and DeFi always was a little out of reach. It was like this language I didn't speak, and it was complicated. And then I was too embarrassed to ask. I'm like, I've been here a while. I should probably know this stuff. And eventually, about a month and a half ago, I started digging deep. And Katana feels, when I started getting on the platform and using the vault, it's very user friendly. So give a little background on Katana as well. And then I want to dig into the actual UI and UX, which is just fantastic.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks. I'm glad you like it. Yeah. It's something I like to say about the DeFi space is that it's like, it's taking everything that people don't care about in regards to technology and everything that people don't care about in regards to finance, and then combining those together. So yeah, it can be a big hurdle, I think, for people, even for people who are involved in the traditional finance space like I was. And because I got to learn the tech side a little bit more, and then people who are on the tech side starting out, they got to learn the finance side a little bit more. So it kind of creates like this very, very unique user and a unique set of developers and people who understand that space. But yeah, while working at Polygon, there came this idea, with like heavy DeFi users like myself and others, and like DeFi developers. We were starting to see this trend in the industry of, we've got general purpose blockchains, and then we were starting to see like more sector specific blockchains emerge, like, gaming chains, payment chains, RWA chains, even some DeFi chains. And we just kind of took a step back and said, what do we really want in a DeFi chain as heavy DeFi users and DeFi developers? And we talked through it, but like two main themes really came into the fold, which was like real sustainable yield in earnings that you can get, and then also like deep liquidity, which is very important for like more on the institutional side, I would say, and then security, of course. But I think that's just like a standard default in the Polygon ecosystem where we came from. And, from that, we just started to reverse engineer a blockchain that maximized for that real sustainable yield and deep liquidity. And that's where I think. Sorry, I've got someone trying to call me. One moment. Sorry
All
about
good.
that.
All good.
So yeah, that's kind of where it all started, right? I think, we've got a lot of mechanisms that are built into the design of Katana that maximize for that deep liquidity and high real sustainable yield, that we've adopted from various DeFi protocols and kind of refined a little bit. From there's the concept of chain-owned liquidity from like Olympus DAO kind of spearheaded that with protocol-owned liquidity. We've got this vault bridge concept that Blast kind of spearheaded. Our CAT token has some VE 3.3 tokenomics as well, which is spearheaded by Curve and Solidity and kind of more refined by Aerodrome. And just, our chain is a DeFi chain. It takes DeFi mechanisms that we've seen throughout the history of DeFi and puts them all together to give basically back to the ecosystem. Because, and I'll say one more thing, and then I'll stop rambling here. Another thing that we had seen just in the space in general was how a lot of these chains and layer twos can be like net extractive to DeFi ecosystems and net extractive to users. So we just wanted to put these mechanisms in place to basically redirect those mechanisms that historically can be extractive and just help to grow a more thriving and robust DeFi ecosystem for the long term.
Yeah, I love the thoughtfulness that goes into it. And one thing I want to share about specifically on the platform that I saw, because this was, again, bear in mind the journey that I'm currently going on. The current going on is I went from kind of understanding a little bit about liquidity pools and how they work, kind of understanding a little bit about vaults and how they work, to I've dove deep the past month and a half. But one of the first places I went, I've got some friends over at the Polygon world, Diana and Max and Rudo and all those folks. And I saw that they were talking about Katana. I totally missed. Apparently, there's a Kaido campaign I completely missed, and that was that. But, so I probably missed out hard getting really excited about it. But the nice part about it is I truly, like, when I talk about something, I'm really excited about it because I actually care. The user interface, if I was sending a friend to DeFi right now, oh, that's not the one we're looking for. Let me share my screen real quick. Find the window. Give me 1 sec. Because I want to share the actual interface itself. Because the interface itself, so here I have kind of like a wallet, that's set up for this thing. You can go to any one of the vaults. You go to earn, you talk about the bridge thing. I can bridge any one of these. So if I want to take the rect and I want to bridge it over and put that in my vault, I can. It's really simple and seamless. So let's say I want to take, I don't know, my GG here and put that directly into the vault. It's like you put that directly in the vault, you continue, you sign your action. So the vaulting itself is really good. And after I do that in a second, I'll actually show people a little bit about some of the other things on the platform that I really like. But what I love is, like, one, you have the native bridge. That's really easy to use. Two, the vaults are very, show you exactly what's there. Earn, click, here's the expected APY, etc. You have your holdings tab, which is right there, which shows you everything you're holding, very plain and transparent. An activity tab, which is like the most underrated thing that seems like it's something a lot more should integrate, because you know when you deposited, what you deposited. It helps me. I know this is boring. It helps me with taxes, like things like that, and knowing exactly what my numbers look like. So all of these different things within the ecosystem, it feels very much like something I could send a friend who's new to crypto, maybe is getting excited about sort of their, self-custody, but it doesn't feel unfamiliar to previous things that they might have used. Can you talk about that UX and UI? Because that was the thing that got me the most geeked out about maybe the whole thing, maybe the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, actually, and that's a big credit to our product team. Some of our guys over there, Ignatius and Will, they're working day in and day out to really make that happen. And I'll say, like, I'm glad you like it, but it's not really in a place where we're like 100% happy with it right now, which is a good thing, I would say. We've got a lot of new features we want to add. We've got some things that we really want to streamline there as well. So more updates coming very soon in the next couple weeks. But yeah, I think that's part of our philosophy on the product side. I mean, we're a blockchain with an app, essentially, right? You don't see a lot of blockchains that have their own app necessarily. And what we wanted to do was kind of hit two different types of users with that. Number one is like the more not so crypto native, not so DeFi natives, where you can just send them the app and they say, oh, okay, so I just, this looks familiar, like you said, and I just use it, make the bridging easy. Maybe some like credit, debit card, centralized exchange integrations maybe in the future to make it even more streamlined. And but then we also wanted to adhere to a little bit more of our DeFi degen audience as well. And that's why we have like the ecosystem explore page. So you can see all the other apps that are also live on Katana outside of just these vaults that we have surfaced to the top of the UI. And, that way you can kind of dig into like some more, maybe like different, more creative strategies. Yeah, and we're in the process of adding more and more apps on that ecosystem page that you're showing right now. More and more projects are launching. Got some really exciting ones that will be launching in the next 2 weeks as well. So stay tuned. Follow the Katana handle to stay up to date. But yeah, that's kind of our philosophy. Make it easy for new users, and then but also let the degens explore where they want to as well. And then I'll also touch on the bridging thing that you said there too. Yeah, bridge from basically any chain. I think it's like 70 plus chains you can bridge directly into, and it'll like automatically swap for the asset of the vault that you're going into as well. And that's the express bridge, which can do it very, very quickly. But it's based on liquidity pools, so you might incur a little bit of slippage there. But then we also have the native bridge, right, which takes a little bit longer. It can take like 20 to 30 minutes to get your assets bridged on the native bridge. But if you're bridging like in size, that's the option that like institutions or whales are going to use. But for everyone else, like I just use the express bridge most of the time. I'm no whale.
Yeah, I like the express bridge as well. It's like I said, like user friendly, and I've just continued to deposit on there because it's easy, and like for me it was like just vault it. Easy. Haven't dove into sort of the more degen apps in the ecosystem, but I've been interested to explore in those a little bit. But when people see this, I think, some of our audience is new to DeFi. They're coming on the journey with me a little bit. We probably, I would say, have a very NFT heavy audience. And so they're starting to learn a little bit more on the DeFi side. Explain the vaults and the yield to people who maybe don't understand how that APY happens. They see USDC 50% APY. They see, WETH, 20% APY. Explain the vault yield and how that works.
Yeah, I'll explain how it works right now, and then how it will be working in the future as well. So those vaults, the underlying DeFi infrastructure that's used is Yearn. Yearn's been in the space for a very, very long time. They're a solid, cracked team. We've worked very, very close with them on the Polygon side for a long time, and super excited to be working with them on the Katana side. And that's what you're depositing into, essentially, right? It's on the Katana page, but you're depositing into a Yearn vault. And what those Yearn vaults do is they have underlying DeFi strategies that are whitelisted, that are being managed inside that vault, which usually just goes to, like, right now, I think it's mainly just like Morpho and Sushi strategies, which are two of our core apps, and we can talk about our core app philosophy a little bit later too, if we want to. And yeah, so right now you see 50% on USDC, or close to 50. It might be like 45, I think. The majority of that is in the CAT token right now. Right, we want to encourage early deposits to bootstrap the ecosystem and get our flywheel going. But over time, what we have all these revenue streams that the chain generates that other chains don't necessarily have. Part of that is vault bridge revenue, which we can talk about later. Yield that's generated from our own chain-owned liquidity that we can talk about later. Sequencer fees, which all layer 2s have and generate sequencer fees. All of the, and then we've got this AUSD yield, which is another stable coin, which we can also talk about later. There's a lot that goes on the Katana side for a flywheel. But we take those revenues, and as we collect them, it'll start to replace those CAT token emissions, like the CAT yield that you'll be getting. So, right now it's, the majority of it is in Katana's token, the CAT token, but over time it'll start to be replaced by real sustainable yield. So you can think of it as like a liquidity mining campaign. That's a campaign that DeFi projects will use to bootstrap liquidity and get people to deposit into their app using their native token. What we want to do, we want to get in a position where we're not just giving users our token, but we're giving them like actual real boosted yield on top of those vaults and on top of those protocols that they're using. So that's where it is right now. That's where we want it to go in the future. And the mechanisms that we use for that are vault bridge, channel liquidity, sequencer fees, and AUSD yield.
Yeah, so that makes sense, and it's probably, I would guess, like mostly automated. So how closely do you actively keep an eye on those strategies to make sure they're staying on point? Like, is there somebody who's just making sure they're managing those on a regular basis, or is it just like, hey, we feel pretty good about this?
Yeah, they're whitelisted strategies, so you can't do too degen of things with them. I think. And just like in our core philosophy in general, right? We don't necessarily want to maximize for the most yield. We want to maximize for the most like resilient, repeatable yield strategies, and it usually stays pretty conservative in that regard. And that goes for the vault bridge as well. So yeah, we work very closely with the Yearn team on seeing where those strategies are allocated. And yeah, that's kind of how that works.
Right on. Solomon in the chat saying, well, that was easy just through my WPTC. That's been sitting doing nothing for a year. Fees were nothing because Polygon interface was easy. Comments down in the chat from Jambert. UI looks really nice. So I think like it's really interesting.
If anyone else is looking to do the same, there's Katana's tagged in the title, and there's a post from Katana up top. Go give them a follow, and if you want to get set up yourself, go click through those official links up top.
Yeah, it's great. And I think they, again, it sort of like hits both worlds where it's like, it has that really easy entry where it's like, I could send it to people. Like, for example, my wife has a MetaMask, she has NFTs, but she's not like diving in. She's a normal human being, unlike myself, well-adjusted to society. And so she like, I can send her to this and she's like, hey, so I just press this button, I bridge over, it's good. But then for those of us who are digging deeper, you mentioned the ecosystem itself. Lending, spot trading decks, like yield aggregators, you have the assets management, you have token launch pads, you have AI and DeFi. You got a lot of things that you have sort of different categorized within the ecosystem itself. You mentioned, like, kind of tease your core app strategy and how you're looking at that. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think, in the DeFi space and just like in the crypto space in general, people talk about liquidity fragmentation, and I don't know if like the NFT audience really thinks about that a lot, but you've got you've got all these assets and this liquidity spread throughout various blockchains, and the cross-chain infrastructure is probably not where we want it to be as an industry right now, and that creates like kind of a poor user experience in itself. So cross-chain liquidity fragmentation is something everyone talks about, but something people don't talk about enough is like liquidity fragmentation within the chain specifically. So if you have 10 different decentralized exchanges on one blockchain, you're basically spreading out all of the assets in markets between all of those 10 decentralized exchanges. And then you have like users that have to play guessing games on like where can they get the best price for each swap or trade that they want to make. Sure, you can use like a decentralized exchange aggregator, which helps a little bit, but those aggregators are going to take their fees, and still you're not going to get the best price if as opposed to if everything was in the same place. So what we did is we feel like DeFi has matured to the point where it can be considered to be core infrastructure in a blockchain's architecture. And so as just like you would pick like an RPC provider or approver for your blockchain, what we do is we say, okay, we need a lending and borrowing protocol for our blockchain. We've selected Morpho. We need a decentralized exchange for a blockchain. We've selected Sushi. And what we do, those mechanisms I talked about previously, all those revenue sources to boost yield, we're directing all of those to just one lending and borrowing protocol and one decentralized exchange, so that we can have all of that liquidity concentrated, so that users can have really, really deep liquidity in a decentralized exchange, which means you're getting a better price as opposed to if it was scattered between 10 different decentralized exchanges. And on the lending and borrowing side, deep liquidity means a little bit more consistency in the rates for when people borrow, and a little bit more consistency in the rates that people get when they're depositing into lending and borrowing protocol. So we feel like this creates like a much more improved user experience for DeFi users. And then, where we want, and Katana is still completely permissionless. Like anyone can deploy any type of project they want to, no matter what. There's nothing we can do to stop them, nor would we want them to stop deploying. But when it comes to like the benefits of the Katana flywheel, though in the boosted yield and chain on liquidity, those are going to go to the core apps.
Makes sense. So you almost have like sort of like it's sort of like we talked about this the other day actually with Abstract, where Abstract got some blowback because they're like, oh, why is it hard to get featured? It's like, well, we want to vet the things we feature on the front page. We want to vet the things that we're going to feature or feel really good about who that we're pushing forward, but not stopping anyone from building, open to build. But it's sort of the same strategy, right? Where it's like the things
exactly the same thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we're not, we don't shy away from the fact that we're opinionated in that sense, right? Like that ecosystem page that you were showing earlier, we're not just letting any project show their logo and their website there. These are teams that we work with and that we vet a little bit, right? Still, do your own research. DeFi is risky. Do your own due diligence. Check the audit reports. But these are projects that we work closely with. And it's exciting to see all of these. And when you're working this closely with all the apps in your ecosystem, you start to get like really intimate and collaborative relationships happening. And so we start to see all of these projects like working together to create like new yield opportunities, new creative ideas. Like the innovation flywheel is also starting to kick off on the Katana side.
That's exciting. So when you talk about, so obviously you kind of talk a little bit there about your app strategy. You talked a little bit even about app acquisition strategy and starting those conversations. What do you think about when you think about user acquisition? Because there's a lot of options out there. Hyperliquid is the sexiest thing on the streets on crypto Twitter. And look, I'm on there too. But like, how do you go about doing a user acquisition strategy? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, that's a really good question. No. So yeah, you mentioned Kaido earlier. And so we do have like a Kaido campaign on our side, but we kind of saw this as like a learn to earn campaign on the Kaido side, because we do have all of these very unique philosophies and DeFi mechanisms within our flywheel that even if you're a DeFi user, it's going to take you some time to like just read and wrap your head around. And then like if you're a normie that's not even involved in crypto, like it's going to look like a different language to you. So we saw this as an opportunity to say, hey, learn about Katana, learn about our flywheel and our mechanisms, educate yourself, write content about it, educate your audience, and effectively, with the leaderboard, we're paying people to create this content, and so that was a good strategy to begin with. And then also within the app, we've the app is great. Like create it like the best user experience possible. That's something that we talk about quite a bit, and we want to streamline that a little bit more. And when people can go to an app like the Katana app and it looks easy and simple, that helps a lot. That helps quite a bit too. So, and we've got some other cool innovations that we'll be adding to the app too, like in-app questing is something that we'll start putting in there, right? Where it's like, hey, make a deposit on Morpho, click in the app, prove that you did it, and then you get points on a leaderboard. And I think we're going to try to tie that to Kaido as well. So make it fun, make it engaging, make it simple. And I think something we also talk about is that the flywheel speaks for itself. The more people learn about Katana, the more developers start to learn about Katana. They're very impressed and they're really interested in the flywheel. And then just kind of that slow, steady, almost like guerrilla marketing approach has been working out for us.
No, you had a Kaido campaign. You don't currently have one, right?
We still have one. Yeah, we still have one.
Is it still going? I didn't even realize that.
Still alive, still going.
What does that look like for people who are interested? Maybe because we have listeners who are now switching over to Katana as we speak. If they go out there, they talk about it, they tell their friends. Like, what does the Kaido campaign look like?
Yeah, basically, you get you go to Kaido, you sign up, right, and then you're connecting your Twitter and your X account. And, you talk about Katana, and, we want you to provide informative and engaging content. And that's what's rewarded on our Kaito leaderboard. And so those users who provide that insightful and engaging content on Twitter and educate their audience about Katana, the DeFi mechanisms and the flywheel, or even just things that you're doing. Like we have this prediction market on Katana called Foresight. And we've got this user who basically posts updates on all of his predictions that he's making, and it gets pretty good engagement. And so he's been climbing the Kaito leaderboard. So that's been exciting to see. Just showing off what you're doing, what you're learning about, and then you kind of grow the ranks there. And then we do have some CAT tokens that will be allocated at the end of season 1. And then I don't think we have a firm date on at the end of season 1, what that will be. But that's kind of how it works. And then we'll roll into season 2. And I think we're going to have like an on-chain feature that ties to the Kaido. That way we're rewarding people who are not only talking about Katana, but also using Katana as well.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. That's one of the things that we talked about that we actually do like about, I saw not just like the proof of ownership with birds that Moonbirds did, but I know there's a third-party campaign that the Polygon folks were doing where they're like, hey, ensure that you're staking Polygon, and right here, if you're staking for 30 days, come back and claim, and you're entered to win another prize. And I like that a lot because I was actually, if you don't mind talking a little bit about your experience with Kaido there, because it's funny. Like I realized there's a leaderboard. I didn't realize that there was a campaign ongoing. So there's a campaign ongoing. There is a leaderboard there. Talk a little bit about like your experience there and the importance of actually having people who are like right now. It's like you're doing this awareness buzz, and that gets a lot of people excited, but the actual people using the platform, that's the end game, right? You're looking for conversions. How has that been so far? How have you felt about that?
Yeah, that's true. I think it's a little difficult to track the conversions right now, to be honest. And I think that's where the on-chain aspect can be very, very helpful for us. I know Kaido's doing their own like on-chain mechanisms, like you said, like the Moonbirds and the thing that Polygon's doing. So we might add something like that, like depending on like which vaults have you deposited into, which apps have you used on Katana, and even like we've even talked about something like achievement badges, right? Where it's like if you've completed 100 transactions on Katana, you get a badge, and then if it goes to like 250 transactions on Katana, your badge gets upgraded. You know, the cool little things like that where people can kind of just like feel included in our community and what we're building and what we're doing. And you know, one of the things that what's interesting about Katana is like we built this in stealth. We didn't talk about it very publicly until it went live, basically. And so we also saw Kaito as a way for community bootstrapping as well. And I think it is very much succeeded in that regard.
Love that. I love
You're
look, I mean,
58 on that list. That's rookie numbers for you. You're gonna have to get that leaderboard ranking up.
what'd you say?
You're 58 on that
Well,
pre-TG.
that's the 3 months.
They got to get those rookie numbers up, buddy. Like I've seen your Polygon leaderboard. It's inexcusable that you're only 58th on the.
I know. Well, the problem with the way that I do Kaido is I do it all wrong. I think I'm 39th on the 30 lady leaderboard for Katana. My problem is I do Kaido leaderboards all wrong. Like I'm 14th for Moonbirds. I'm like 5th on Polygon. I just talk about the things that I use and like, and wherever I rank, which I know that's the idea, but I think other people gamify it a little bit better. So I just do a very poor job of just like engagement farming for the timeline and being like smart followers, reply or whatever. I rank 39 apparently just using the platform and talking about it. So I guess it's working how it's intended, but I could probably step that up a little bit. But it's not going to, like, the thing is, I'm not going to inorganically talk about it. I really like what you're building. I really think it's cool. Like, I like the fact that you're building it where it's user friendly, but also you can switch over and do a little bit of degen on things. That's it. I do want to talk a little bit about, you know, obviously you were at Polygon, you got a lot of friends over at Polygon. Talk about that relationship you have with the Polygon sort of team and ecosystem as far as their, obviously, like, you know, the way you built and were incubated, but talk a little bit about the relationship there, because like the way I found out about Katana actually was Max, Big Nil, reached out to me and said, hey, check this out. You're getting into DeFi. And I'm like, all right, I'll explore. And I was like, shit, this is easy.
Yeah, great. Yeah, Nil's amazing. And you mentioned Diana too earlier, and she's awesome. I used to work very, very closely with
people
with
from
both of
Cleveland,
them.
man. What are you gonna do? Like both of them. Like great.
Are they both from Cleveland?
Yeah, both from Cleveland. Yeah.
I knew Diana was a Buckeye, so okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, we were incubated by Polygon and GSR. GSR is a very prominent market maker in the DeFi space, and you know, so in pretty much almost everyone that's on the Katana team now was at Polygon previously. We've made some new hires of newer people recently that were not at Polygon previously, but you know, that relationship is very tight, not just because of the you know, the previous work that all the employees at Katana did with people at Polygon, and not just because of the incubation, but also from a tech side, is that you know, Katana is connected to the ag layer. I don't know if y'all have talked about the ag layer on the show, but
big fan.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's one of the value props that Katana provides to the ag layer, and the ag layer provides to Katana as well. And that's, you know, you can kind of think of Katana as like the yield and liquidity DeFi hub of the ag layer network, and that provides benefits both ways. Like if you have a gaming chain that's connected to the ag layer, well, okay, if you have a gaming chain that's not connected to the ag layer, it's just an L2 gaming chain, you're still going to have to find a decentralized exchange to launch on your blockchain. And so you got to source that from BD and get a decentralized exchange to launch. And then you've got to help them drive liquidity so that users can actually swap on your chain, even though you're just a gaming chain. And that really kind of takes away from what the people working on that chain should be doing, which is building the best gaming chain. Now, if that gaming chain connects to the ag layer, they can just tap in to Sushi on Katana, and the user is just going to feel like they never even left that gaming chain specifically. And, you know, that provides benefits to Katana because that drives more yield and activity and volume. And that provides benefits to those sector specific chains that we were talking about previously, where they don't have to spend time like finding decentralized exchanges and bootstrapping them. So the ag layer plays a very important role and kind of continues to connect us with the Polygon and ag layer ecosystem at large.
Love that. Dude, this is like, I mean, again, I love this. I love the way you're approaching it. I feel like, you know, like we're dying in this space to get builders who we know have, you know, sort of like the right intentions and build for the long term and think about, you know, building a robust ecosystem. And here you are, doing that. That said, I know we're at about 9:30, 9:35. Any other things, like what else have we missed that we didn't ask you about today related to Katana that you want to make sure you get across? Because again, we're excited to educate our audience about this sort of thing because, again, it's funny. I did the same thing with Polygon, by the way. I was talking about Polygon, and then I saw I ranked on a leaderboard. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And they're like, yeah, they have a Kaido campaign. I'm like, I did not know. And so I was today years old when I learned you actually have a Kaido campaign. So that was good to know, even though I knew you had a leaderboard. But anything else you wanted to educate our audience on that maybe we didn't hit on?
Yeah, I would say, if you want deep dives into the mechanics that I kind of briefly touched on, like Vault Bridge, chain on liquidity, AUSD, we have this concept of productive TVL as well. Go to our blog. There's a lot of great content there. If you want to climb the ranks on the Kaido leaderboard, I think pulling information and learning from those blog posts is and sharing that with your audience on Twitter is a great way to get started and a great way to learn and educate yourself. And yeah, I'd say just, follow us on Twitter at Katana. Subscribe to our Reddit. We're trying to build that out a little bit as well. Our Katana. We did get that, which was exciting. It used to be.
I have a random question. You're probably front running here, but did you just get that? Did you have to acquire that? It's kind of an impressive username. I figured it would have been taken years ago.
So we reached out. Yeah. So it was dedicated to Katana swords. And then, we reached out to Reddit and we were able to acquire it because I'm not really sure what that process looks like. We had someone on the Polygon side who's super into Reddit. His name is 2 Cent Timmy on Twitter. So go check him out. And yeah, it was kind of funny. We still had people popping in there just posting pictures of swords, which is, perfectly on brand for us too. So that's great.
We didn't ask probably an important question. Awesome name. I mean,
cool. Thanks.
There's a katana in my
Yeah, I got one up here. If you can see it.
That's a real ass katana.
It is.
How does one end up with the name? How'd you settle on the name Katana out of this? Because it's an awesome name. I just don't know if I would have thought of picking it right off the rip. How'd you end up there?
Yeah, I think first of all, we went through a lot of different iterations on what to call the chain, and this one kind of popped up, Katana. And when we went into the reason, when we kind of dug into reason, like why we thought this was a good idea, I'll tell a story here. Like back in feudal Japan, like warriors would use like long general purpose swords that were great for battle, right? But as warfare evolved and warriors started to ride on horseback, the general purpose sword that they were using wasn't as efficient, and they needed something more specialized for that mounted on horseback warfare that was evolving. And that's where the katana was born. And so we see that very similar to how the DeFi space and the crypto space is evolving, where general purpose blockchains are great and they're fine, but we needed something special and specific for DeFi and DeFi users. And that's why we created this special DeFi focused chain called Katana, essentially. Also phonetically, it sounds good. That's also something we
cool to say. Just cool to say.
Katana. Yeah, that's another thing.
Look, Cap, do you hear that? Like, as I'm a marketing and branding guy, I worked at Progressive and led a bunch of marketing disciplines. I worked at Nestle and led PR for their frozen foods and stuff. And man, having a real story like that, it just it hits me right in the feels. It's like that's like a there's actually some metaphorical reasoning behind it. What other names hit the cutting room floor? Can you share? Can you share a couple that hit the cutting room floor besides Katana?
I don't think I can talk about some of those. It was really just like two other ones. One of them was already taken. Don't need to talk about it. One of them was we twit around with the idea of parlay, but yeah, it like parlaying a bet and then we were just like we want something that that we can build more of a culture around as well.
You can uniquely own Katana. It's way better than parlay. That's actually a really good call. It's something you can uniquely own. It's got a good story behind it. But no, man, that's awesome. Well, look, I mean, again, check out the blog, go to Katana. Again, Katana on X. You can find them, get all their links there. I've been recommending it to people. Looks like we've got at least 3 or 4 people this morning who have jumped on since the show started. So
Let's
that's
go.
exciting. And check it out. Big fan. And so, yeah, we are definitely looking forward to exploring. Cap, anything else you want to hit before we let Crypto Texan get out of here?
I was just gonna say your only request is this insatiable desire you have for a ref link. So that's the only feedback we've got.
A ref link? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I that's actually the one thing that was funny. Like that was when I was talking about Katana on the show the other day, and I had like 3 people bump up and ask me for a ref link. I'm like, there's no ref link. I just my ref link. This is so corny, but it's like my ref link is like if people are happy and using a protocol that I like, then I'm happy. Like it would be great to get some, but I'm actually just cool just sending people to good products. Like that's sort of I am just for my own fault here for the tech and the culture and enjoy it too much. So it's like to a problem where it's like I've literally now discovered 2 Kaido earn opportunities by accident by showing up on a leaderboard just talking about things. So
which is kind of like an indirect ref link in a sense, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's fair, actually.
Yeah.
That's fair.
In all seriousness, I do have an important question.
Yeah, let's go.
Crypto Texans. What's your calling of the score tomorrow? We know you're going to have the Buckeyes winning.
Oh.
What's your prediction for the game score tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, on the Texas Tech side, we're playing Arkansas Pine Bluff, so hopefully that should be a complete blowout. But on the Texas OSU side, I think it'll be. I mean, it's going to be close. I think the spread's like 1.5. So I do see OSU coming out on top. I'll just do a 24-21 score. Okay. I think that could be it. Yeah,
we'll take it.
Keep it entertaining.
I'm just because I'm probably going to fire some DFS or some battle royale and underdog, and I'll be game stacking the game. So I'm going to shoot for higher, but I would definitely take a 24-21 W. And anyone else want to get only a few participants so far. So you drop your score to the OSU Texas game in the chat below. And the closest to the pin is going to get the 100 ape on Monday.
Yeah. I mean, I like that prediction. Look, I'll take 2-0. Not only is that a cover, but a win is a win. So whatever we get, I don't even care. I mean, look, my bets won't be good if they don't cover because the one thing I do is like, I try to be relatively, I bet like the most ridiculous honk. Like I bet my team, I bet the outcome I want. I'm a horrible sports bettor. I have a buddy who beats the market. So I'm just going to load on OSU.
I do the same, Steve, but only for Ohio State. Ohio State's the only... I'll bet Ohio State every time. I'll stack Ohio State players if I'm playing DFS or Battle Royale. Everywhere else, I'm completely. I could care less about who wins the game, even if it. But when it comes to football Saturdays, yeah, I'm the homer when it comes to Ohio State plays as well. I did see Steve. We had Puff jump on stage. I'm not sure if has a question for Crypto Texan. Do you have a minute or two? If you got it.
Oh yeah, I've got some time. Sure.
Puff, GM, welcome to the stage. You got a question for Crypto Texan?
Yo, GM. Well, it's GN for me. I'm in Thailand, but
nice.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. You were talking about people building like long term and stuff, and I was like, oh, I got to go talk about someone who I think deserves a shill. But it's
let's go.
Well, yeah. So they're on Ape Chain. They're Frostbite, and maybe you guys do or don't know, but they got together the G's, the Token Gators, the Gobs, all these collections under one mining protocol, like a soft staking protocol, where they have gem that's they're able to claim gem over time. And I just want to throw that as a shout out. Like someone, the founder is Bouvet, if you know Bouvet or not, longtime ape. I'm just a holder. I'm not like a dev and I'm not a part of the team or anything, but so you brought up like people that are building long-term. That's a project in my mind. That's a long-term project that, is on Ape Chain, kind of hopefully relevant to what you guys are talking about. I know exactly you're not talking about Ape Chain right now, but, yeah, that's all. Just wanted to say that. I could talk more, but I don't want to take up too much time. But go ahead.
No, yeah, I think a lot of the mechanisms that you see, like a little bit more like in the NFT staking or NFT fi space, is something that can be easily translated into something a little bit more DeFi native. And so, we're always looking for new teams and new developers who might be able to build that potentially for us. So, we'll look into Frostbite, reach out to them, see what's going on. Thanks for the referral.
Love to see it. Well, look, Crypto Texan, we appreciate you coming up this morning. We appreciate you taking your time. And most of all, like, I appreciate what y'all are building. Like, it is fun to see people trying to do chains that do specific things, that do them very well, and making them user-friendly and approachable. So we'll continue to tell our community about it and just keep on building. And I'm looking forward, dude. when you started saying badges and you started talking about, I mean, I'm the dude who played like fantasy NASCAR and Yahoo Sports to get another trophy in my case of my Yahoo trophy cases. So I like to collect, if you can't tell. So you got me. I'm excited. And thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll leave y'all with one piece of alpha and I'm just going to hang up. But imagine if the highest yield for Sol was on Katana. All right. That's it. Talk to you later.
Oh man, love it.
Adios.
Thanks for coming up. Have a good one. Love for you doing.
Connect.
Cap, that was cool. I like that alpha tease at the end. I like the alpha tease at the end. I mean, there's some good Sol yield. I think hydration is the best yield for my money right now on Sol. But how do you feel? I mean, look, I told you yesterday. I told you the other day. I booked this one. I got excited. You know me. I'm getting excited in my little DeFi streets as I'm learning, and it's a cool ecosystem, right?
Yeah, and I'm not even joking. I'm just gonna continue to double down on my bullishness on ETH and the ETH ecosystem, because here we are talking best yield for Bitcoin, best yield for Solana on an ETH layer 2. Like, it's where DeFi's done, Steve.
It is where DeFi's done. I mean, it continues to, people want to shake out on ETH a lot. It's like the thing that people want to say. Our local bear, I don't know if he's listening. I know he's always listening. Our local bear bread guy. Sometimes it's funny. I was thinking this morning before he called himself the bear. I was thinking this morning, I'm like, man, bread guy likes to like just throw the wrench in and be like, technically this doesn't add up, but whatever, chase the vibes. Like, he's smart enough to know what's going on, but like he was hitting on ETH a little bit this morning. And, I saw people talking about like, oh, look what the government's doing here and there. Bad for ETH. This is bad for nothing. ETH is going to continue to be ETH. We love ETH. We're ETH bulls. We enjoy ETH. And look, I think right now, just to give an opinion. So again, grateful Katana. Again, if you haven't checked out Katana, apparently that I'm in my 39th leaderboard position in 30 days is a good thing long term. If you're moving, I accidentally ended up there. I've accidentally ended up on every leaderboard I'm on now that I think about it. I'm on Pengu high. I'm on Moonbirds high. I'm on Polygon high. And I'm on Katana high. The only thing, I tried to farm Arbitrum at one point, never landed there. And I tried to farm Polkadot. I'm genuinely using it, but I started going a little deeper there. Didn't get anywhere. The ones I talk about have worked. But I think with crypto right now, honestly, like we talk about ETH, we talk about Bitcoin being down. I think we're just playing with our food till rate cuts come around. I just think we're playing with our food. I think that's all that's happening right now. And I think eventually we're popping out of this thing and we're going to be in good shape. So I
think there might be some logic to my thesis earlier that, yeah, it's just like crypto traders are just bored. Like they're very impatient, and it's like every little dip for ants we get. Oh, the cycle's over. No, dude, like chill out for a minute. Go touch some freaking grass. By the way, I don't know what happened, but it was a scam pump on the news this morning. We gave up we're right back to where we started. So we got it came in line with expectations. Inflation numbers came in line with expectations, and it looked good for a minute, and then we're right back to where we were before 8:30 started. So not sure what happened, but yeah, we got a pump, and then it appeared seemingly one of those scam pumps, because we ripped up and then we're right back down. So yeah, people are just playing with their food, Steve.
Yeah, it's people are figuring out what to do in this market. It's just, again, I'll continue. This is, again, not to hammer it home, but we just had
easy game. All you had to do was long ETH or Bitcoin or any of the majors at 755, close your long about 50 minutes later, exactly an hour later, and open a short immediately, and you would have printed this morning. Easy game.
Yeah, easy game. Just play it perfectly. If you time the top and time the bottom, you'll be in great shape. Yeah, man. I know we just had a DeFi protocol on here this morning, so it's worth talking DeFi. I know that I've been hammering this home, and I know I probably need to do more educational content, but it is a complex thing. I've been thinking of a lot of analogies in my head on how to educate people on liquidity pools, how to educate people on, just generally how like DeFi works. I mean, I will say right now, we have chopped around enough, and I literally look at and it's like, I don't have that much money in DeFi, and all my liquidity pools, for example, fees, it's like $20, $30, $40 overnight, in less than 24 hours. That doesn't sound like much until you extrapolate the fact that that's thousands of dollars a year on fees, on assets that I'm just holding in there and letting it chop around. And as long as I have a wide range, I don't get the same APY of like people who manage an active pool. If you don't know, if you keep the pool really tight, you go out of range. So it's like if it moves up a little, 2 points one way or the other, you're out of range. I keep wide ranges. My APY might not be huge, but I'm just sitting there collecting dollars out of the couch cushion slowly and surely. So, again, it's just it's a strategy you can dive into. And again, I'm a fan of Katana and what they're doing. Again, creating a whole chain, a whole ecosystem. And again, you saw the ecosystem this morning. That deposit is so user friendly, like so user friendly. The fact that you can take any coin. I discovered dust coins I didn't know existed that I used to deposit into there, like because they're just sitting on, my Ethereum wallet somewhere. I'm like, oh, I have $75 of like GG or something. Cool. I'll use that there. So, big opportunity. So I think, again, can't say enough how much I enjoy that ecosystem.
Not to freak everyone out going into the weekend, but my other quant that's not named Tom Lee, not feeling good. D-Farmer says, not like anything I see right now. I'm not going to lie. Culprit, it'd be nice if Bitcoin stopped looking like absolute ass because alt setups are juicy and it's clear they just want to start running, with Solana in particular looking like a snack. So yeah, not great price action this morning. Hopefully we don't have another one of the Friday dumps, but it's starting to increasingly look like Keyboard Monkey might have been right and we might be going lower before we go higher. But buckle up.
Yeah. Buckle up. Hang out.
Good news is we got a Buckeye football game tomorrow. Buckeyes are going to win. Dort's calling it 29-23 Buckeyes. Mostly the chat's following suit and picking Buckeyes to win. The claim code for other page, it's going to go out in the newsletter today. Make sure you're signing up for the newsletter, Coffee with Captain. That goes out. Yeah, thanks, Jamber. Appreciate it. It's just coffeewithcaptain.com to sign up for that newsletter. And that'll hit maybe later this morning, if not early afternoon. And that's where the code will be. You can also, if you miss any of the claims earlier this week, and get that done. We will Monday morning. We will pick a winner based on the closest to the pin on the Ohio State Texas score, and then Steve's going to pick a winner today in advance. It's just going to be honor system. So if you get picked, you have to promise us that you will mint the badge today via the email when that goes out. And also news. Relative to our friends and partners over at Other Page, Steve, they just went live with Pudgy Penguins on Other Page. Good Vibes Club is live on Other Page. Team just continues to ship over there. So if you've not yet checked out Other Page, you want to make sure you do that as well.
Yeah, man. Other Page is absolutely cooking. I did want to also share. I'm gonna look for a winner on the space as we do this, but I will say, look, I think Zeet maybe it's day one. They got to work on the leaderboard itself, because the leaderboard itself was kind of sketchy when I looked at it a little bit. It was like so, but on the profile itself, I mean, like you said, content breakdown, DeFi. I have been heavy lately. NFTs, 20%. Engagement farming is probably catching my replies. So like Adam Schefter and things. Crypto news, 15%, and other 5%. But like my vibe quadrant up here, Steve K. Park's recent tweets paint a picture of a hands-on crypto enthusiast deeply embedded in DeFi, NFTs, and Web3 culture. He's not just retweeting, he's sharing insightful thoughts on market moves, staking strategies, and community-driven projects, while occasionally getting personal with off-topic moments.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah. His content balances informative deep dives with lighthearted engagement bait. True. Showing a willingness to learn publicly and help others do the same. The vibe of a savvy, approachable guide, navigating complex crypto seas, blending practical advice with a genuine passion for the space. I know that these things are sort of like those BuzzFeed quizzes where they like, what Disney princess are you? And they always give you something that makes you feel good about yourself.
But usually when those things are just like, it's like the Monad card. There's like 6 different canned responses. You're going to get one of them. Maybe this is the way. I don't think this is that case though. I think these are actually unique to you. Like maybe I'm wrong, but I don't read it as like, oh, this is just one of the 12 canned responses that you're going to get one of these 12 verbatims. I'm reading it as if, and mine, that it's unique to us.
I mean, they got me compared to Jason Nanovitz. They got me compared to Betty, Hasib Kareshmi, which is a major Dragonfly Capital, OSF, Dith, Farouk up there. So the Kraken account, David Hoffman. So pretty flattering overall on
Except for
that.
the David Hoffman comparison. That's
I mean, like, but you know, if you're a podcaster in, like, dude, say what you want to say. If you're a podcaster in Web3, David Hoffman's not a bad person to be compared to. But
I mean, I know it's also now maybe they just say, hey, you're gonna name certain things, but why I do believe it is very like specific to the user. It's not just here's 10, pick the one that best fits. Is like they mentioned Coffee with Captain. They mentioned shout outs to projects like Rect and 8chain. Like this, it's hitting me to a T. You know, I am a blend of bullish takes. I am a perma bull. Community-driven campaigns like Coffee with Captain and shout-outs to rising projects like Rect and 8chain balances market optimism with candid moments about the industry drama and personal updates, maintaining a conversational, sometimes irreverent tone. Retweets from trusted voices and active participation in niche communities underscore his role as a connector and thought leader who's always ready to stir the pot or drop some alpha. Like, I couldn't have, I don't know, I get better than the bio would have given myself. Like, it's pretty on point. Now, I don't think I really steady stream of engagement bait, but I do open every day with the GM, so it's probably catching up some of that. But yeah, I just like, I know this is just one piece, and it is early. Do I feel I deserve to be better than top 1,036? Maybe, probably yes. But like this makes me really bullish on how accurate it seems to be in terms of just, hey, who is this person, right? Like, good start, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. I think, and look, I'm skeptical of these sort of things, right? Like I am skeptical of these things going on. Like not all of them are like, I think it's a good user interface that they put up, and it's like it feels like it's accurate to me.
Everyone in the chat agreed as well. Teach Case says mine's accurate as well. Jamber says mine was pretty unique to me. Ian, no, definitely more unique. Mine is unique for sure. So yeah, it's like that's fun. That's cool. Well done.
Yeah.
Also, Cool Chick is really sucking up. 56-10 OSU win.
Cool Chick is look, you know what's crazy about this game? And I'll be honest, like we can close out on this while I look for a winner. I'm gonna look for a winner in the chat from the space. What's crazy to me is that I could see any result in this game. Any result. I could see OSU steamroll. I could see Texas steamroll. I could see a close game. There is nothing that would surprise me about this game because OSU lost 14 draft picks in the NFL. That's a record. They had 14 people drafted. Record. Texas lost some people to the NFL, but returns a star running back, the most hyped quarterback, the Manning moment. It's just, there's so many different ways this thing can go. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a classic, but like OSU has 3 wide receivers that could be the number one in another team. Texas Arch Manning, the hottest recruit in years, who seems poised and has everything together. It's just, you know, Ryan Day versus Sark. Like Ryan Day got over the hump last year, but he had a little bit of a reputation in, you know, bowl games and Michigan games. And, you know, but this is also the type of game Ryan Day normally wins. So I don't know, man. Like I could see this going any way, and I am way jacked and I'm excited. Like I have some work to do today. I want to draft some spoiled bananas. Otherwise, I would go straight to fucking sleep so I could just wake up tomorrow and watch the game. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and
while you're picking a winner, just 2 other quick flyovers. Worth commenting. Kongs are launching another token. Part of what they're doing is if you spent over 10 grand in a wallet on OpenSea during a certain time frame, you qualify for a portion of that claim. I think I pinned it up top. Yes, there is from NFT Cheeses up top. There's a wallet checker. I as I mentioned, I'm an optimist, so I hate to put out negative thoughts into the universe. I'm getting increasingly anxious over the OpenSea drop, which probably comes in 2027, that they are going to screw over people that use proper wallet hygiene and didn't do all their transactions out of one wallet. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not going to go down that rant, but that's how, the Kong, it's like, it's just your specific wallet. So like, there's no aggregation. And I hope OpenSea doesn't do that path. So again, as the optimist, I'll end my rant there. But yeah, the if you want to go check your checker for the Kong's airdrop, that's up top. And then there's also another shout out to Husker, who always grabs Reverb and the Lurky campaign, or the Lurky app. Lurky, they've been running their own campaign for a while. That's just, if you missed when we had them on the show, it's just lurky.app. And they launched a new leaderboard. There's, they've been going for a while with their leaderboard, and Lurky is basically, it's like InfoFi, but for voice, for audio. It's the first that actually taps into the audio of Twitter Spaces. It listens to what hosts say. I'm bringing it up again because they're actually kicking off a virtuals campaign at noon Eastern today. So for any of you that are hosting spaces out there, or have anything going over the weekend, I don't know, maybe nothing comes of it, but go check that out. Virtuals campaign kicks off, and Virtuals has a lot of motion. They still have a lot of attention. There's some big fans, there's some fudders, some faders. I got deep into it early on, and then I haven't really been paying attention, a little bit exposure over there, but yeah, just wanted to call attention. That's I think it's their first third party campaign, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Kicking off at noon today. So rooting for Lurky and the team, because selfishly speaking, I would love to see social audio be incorporated into all the InfoFi platforms, whether it's Zeet or Kaido, Lurky, we're there, but yeah, I would love to see all the others adopt this as well.
Yeah. Same. I love that idea. And it's funny. I was actually going to hit time sensitive with in the war room with Coffee with Captain newsletter, but I'll do it again after the show. I tagged Mel in the chat, by the way. I think Mel, we go 108 today. I mean, look, Mel is like first every single day. Tagged her there. I think we get Mel that 108. Always here, always first, always a good advocate. Not afraid to speak up and speak your mind, but also very supportive in that way. So appreciate Mel out there as well. And Cap, I am juiced for tomorrow, man. Like, you know how I feel about Ohio State football. It is the only thing. Like, I don't get overly excited about the Browns, the Buckeyes, the Guardians. I like them. I watch them, but it's not really that exciting. I get excited about sports. I like big games. I like to bet them. OSU is the only thing I still have left. It's something that Bunch, you and I have in common. Penn State is the only thing he has left. OSU is the only thing I have left, right? It's the only sport where I still feel something deeply in my loins, in my plums when things go nuts. It's just, I love OSU. I cannot wait for tomorrow. My mood will be dependent. I am hanging out with a group of people, my friends, kids, friends, parents, and them on Saturday night and Sunday night and Sunday during the day, like a lot of hanging out there. So my mood is going to be dependent on Ohio State. So it is very important they win tomorrow. Otherwise, I could be a cranky ass bitch around these people. Although I'll turn it off. I'll show it well. I'll just be a little more down. But yeah, we ride. So, Cap, any other things you wanted to hit on? Again, sign up for our newsletter, coffeewithcaptain.com. Going to send out the code and the link to claim a badge there. Hopefully we figure that out. I think this might be the one that you can get a little edge on if you claim potentially. So you're going to want to claim that one. But yeah, college football is back. Thanks to all the tip-ors this morning, by the way. Rock, paper, hands. I know it was during the interview. Appreciate you, as always, coming through big. Von Frunten, Chris, appreciate you getting back my way as well. Cap, any other parting thoughts before we let everyone get out of here?
I thought I had something else. I'm not going to go on a Dave Portnoy rant, but enjoy your weekends. Enjoy some college football. Get your best ball drafts in, and tune in Monday. It's going to be an exciting show. Steve's going to be on the streets. I too might be on the streets, literally. So we will. I might be walking around Dunedin with a roadcaster in my hand.
I will say on a very quick note, and we don't need to go deep on it, on the Portnoy thing.
It's not a bit, by the way. I actually am homeless in about 72 hours. I'm not even.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I don't care about the Portnoy thing as much as I wish OSU just said it with their chest. Because what happened was OSU banned Portnoy and Barstool because he said some really nasty things about Ryan Day, his family, all that. And then because Fox needs OSU's like, no, this is a Fox decision. And Fox like, yeah, it was us because they can't go back on it. I just wish OSU said like, yeah, and just made it a rivalry thing, stuck their middle finger up and said, yeah, guess what? You don't get to come here because your CEO says some shitty things. Like, do I think it's good if he's there to like do the whole thing? Great. But OSU doesn't ban Desmond Howard, you know, and he's a Michigan guy. It's because of the nature of him and things he said and how he's done it. So just say it with your chest. If I'm OSU, I think it only works if you say, get out of here. We don't like you. It's fine. And by the way, I like Portnoy. I like Barstool. I'm into like Barstool like content. But like the problem that I have with it is that they didn't own the decision. If they just owned the decision, I'd be like, that's great for the rivalry. But the fact that they did it and then tried to like welch it off on Fox, that to me is the soft part. I know you think it's soft all around, but you see what I'm saying here? Do you see my point? If they just said F you, it's the equivalent of Woody Hayes saying, if we run out of gas in Michigan, we'll push the bus across the state line. Remember that? Like, that's what they'd be doing if they just owned it. Do you get my point of view there?
Yeah, it's weak sauce. It's like whatever, what was the dumb thing some senator proposed or something last year?
Oh, that was just a stupid pandering thing about the flag planting thing. That's dumb. That's not the same. These are two different categories. The flag planting thing was a dumb political move that even OSU fans are like, what are we doing here? The Dave Portnoy thing could be really funny. Like, imagine if we banned Dave Portnoy and then like Michigan's athletic director banned, I don't know, like Kirk Herbstreit or Eddie George. Or, you know what I mean? Like, imagine you did that. Although Kirk's son's going there, but you know what I mean?
Well, and then I guess the thing to really like kind of like sentimental, if you've not seen any like the Lee Corso stuff, it's worth going. Like if like you might get a little watery eyed. Like it's a good clip. Corso's been a legend in the broadcasting commentary space in college football for decades, and you know has a pretty incredible tree of those other analysts and commentators who have come up with him or you know been mentored by him to some degree. And tomorrow is his last game. He's retiring, and he's got to put on the Brutus head, right? Like there's no way he has to go with the home team, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to realize. I mean,
win weight, by the way. So if he does put the Brutus hat on tomorrow, I just saw someone went back and tracked every result, and he's got a 66. The guy runs hot. Like he's a good picker, better than every professional sports bettor.
Lee Corso's the story behind the first OSU head, or the first OSU head, the first helmet or first mascot Lee Corso wore. Kirk Herbstreit's wife was a cheerleader at Ohio State. Kirk Herbstreit was a quarterback at Ohio State. They're trying to do a fun thing for picking. I forget who the opponent was, but Lee Corso's first ever headgear pick was Ohio State. Last ever headgear. What's that?
Has to come full circle.
Yeah. I mean, like, and because of Kirk and his wife, they're able to go to the athletic departments and borrow a Brutus headgear and get that. So it was just a completely impromptu thing, and the people loved it. So the very first ever headgear, OSU won the game and brought out the Brutus. So I think, to your point, closed loop, full circle, universe works in mysterious ways. Last Lee Corso game, major top 5 matchup. He goes Brutus head. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. OSU wins the game. We ride. Let's read that out. So,
last chance to get your predictions in the chat. Whoever gets closest to the score of the Ohio State-Texas game will win the 100 Ape on Monday. Drop those in the comments now. I'll come back on Monday to see who our lucky winner was.
Yeah.
Assuming I have internet.
Right on. Well, we'll figure it out Monday. We'll figure it out next week. Cap's going to find a home or a hotel or something. It'll be at the local motel. Thanks everyone who came through this morning. We will talk to everybody bright and early Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Come hell or high water in some way, shape, or form. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.